Welcome to selfdiscoveryradio.com, where the orchard of wisdom is just ready for picking. We celebrate your why, the journey that you've taken that inspires someone else. We support your services, we support your story. Come and be our guest, become a host, be an author with us. Come and see what we've got. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another wonderful show of Eco Solutions and the Let's Get Synced series. I have somebody very special here today. I'm talking about a subject that's very, very warm to my heart. It is about water. Water is something that we do take for granted all the time. We don't realize that we are water. Our bodies are made up of that. Just about everything we touch is water, and that water itself has a consciousness. Water is something that's very, very important to us. And the gentleman that we have here, hold on a second, I'm going to get this, Yasuyuki Nemoto from Japan. I'm hoping that I've done an honor that. And his story, his passion, his education to us all is on water, the science of water, the consciousness of water, how we actually can understand the different waters and the power and the energy and the frequency that it has, and why water is so very, very important to us. He started a wonderful project called Project of Love and Thanks to Water back in July in 2002 with Dr. Emoto, and the ceremony to send love and gratitude to water for the world. I think we're at a time in life where we really need to awaken our consciousness and actually understand why we actually have a need to wake up, to what is going on in the world, a need to wake up to the consciousness that lies within us, and to actually understand that everything has energy. Everything has an energy signature, a frequency that serves us. And we need to raise our vibration in order to match it. So we're going to talk about this wonderful subject of water and its consciousness, its importance. I'm sorry if you're hearing any dinging in the background. There's something going on here, which I'm not quite sure what. Let me see. I'll switch something off here. There we go. And we're going to be talking about exactly why water is so important and what we can do to be more aware of it. So welcome to the show, Yashi. It's wonderful to have you here.
Yeah, thank you, Sara. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
And folks, this is after midnight for him. So, you know, this is real dedication to get his story out there because he's in Japan. And, but, you know, water is one of my favorite subjects because people really do not actually understand the power of water. You know, they use it in their coffee, their tea, they bathe in it, they wash in it, but they really do not understand the fact we're running out of water or what energy water holds. When you look at a ship on the ocean and you think, how can the water hold that? You know, and it's quite miraculous water in every way. And you've really studied it and studied it from around the world as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Because I started about the research of water with Dr. Emoto. It was, as you said, year 2002. Then, you know, I was with him for his lecture tour, not only in Japan, but in the foreign countries. But he passed away, unfortunately, like 4 years ago. But also at the same timing, I attended water conference, international water conference for water scientists, you know, and the researcher. And then I was very happy. I was very fortunate to have a connection with scientists and water scientists in the world. And so after that, I am studying the water scientifically. And so my presentation is almost always about the message from water, which is a work by the late Dr. Emoto, as you know, maybe, and also the connection between the message from water and the new science of water. And as you said, the water is very important because without water, we cannot survive. Exactly. It's a common sense. And usually, yeah, I believe that without water, maybe you can survive like 1 week or 10 days, but not more, you know. No. You would die. Yes. So in this sense, you know, everybody knows that water is important, but it's a kind of passive, you know, view about water. Yeah. But recently, in the new science of water, the scientists are giving evidence that the water is much, much more active, component for
Yes.
life. And so water is communicating with, other part of water, even in our body, we
Right.
believe. So water is exchanging information, and also water is getting energy from like a sun or light. And the water can convert the light energy into other type of energy. And I believe that water is much, much more important than you may think,
Right.
as a common sense. So this is a point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, and I love that test. I'm not quite sure who did it, of the water, the three waters. One water being in an angry room where everybody was shouting
Oh,
and angry,
yeah,
etc.
yeah, yeah.
Another
Uh-huh.
room with complacency, nobody, no feelings whatsoever, and another room of love, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing the very distinctiveness of the water.
Mm. Yeah.
The angry one turned black, the one that had no attention at all didn't change at all, but the one that received love and joy literally crystallized,
Yeah.
into a higher frequency. And, people go, how is that so? It's just water. We
Mm.
forget the miraculous structure of everything about us, don't we? In every cell, in every compartment of us, not just in our body, but in this planet, and that everything is made up of something. And when
Yeah.
we actually understand it, then we actually learn to appreciate it a lot more. I've seen you've done some various tests of testing water around the world and seeing different energies, different frequencies, different components to it. Would you like to share some of that with us?
Yeah. Because maybe many people knows about the message from water, which is a book, the collection of water crystal photographs. And Dr. Emoto started this experiment, I believe, in the year 1994. And he did many different types of experiments using this water crystal technology. And after 5 years, he published the message from water. It was in the year 1999. And in this technology, as you said, like we can send our love into water. Yes. And also, on the other hand, we can send like a very bad energy, yes, like you food or like that. And so he froze both waters, and he observed the water crystal structure using a microscope. And he found when you send your love and gratitude, the water showed very wonderful, hexagonal, beautiful water crystals. But if you say very bad, word, like you food, or, I will kill you or something like that, then water didn't give you any beautiful water crystals. No. So Dr. Emoto, but this is not a science book, it's just he published like his other experience. And so some scientists are criticizing that this is not a science or like that. But after his publishing the message from water, mostly in this 21st century, some scientists are giving the evidence that the water molecular structure or water is actually affected by your emotion, or like a healing or chi energy or like that. So,
and of course,
as you said,
we're made of water, aren't we?
Yes, yes.
So, of course, if we're going to have the bombardment of fear or hate or discontent, that changes the water structure in our body, and that's also where dis-ease comes along, because it starts breaking down all the organs. If we're people that choose to live, the big word choose, to live in a consciousness of joy, caring, humanity, love and light, we're going to change everything about our bodies as well, and the way that our health is and the way we perceive life. But it comes down to that choice, and people don't realize it's simply as that.
Yeah, and about that, view of water, maybe have you watched the movie, What's the Bleep Do We Know? Did you hear?
That's on the agenda. I'm going to watch that for sure. What's the bleep do we know? Folks, let's put that on your list.
I think this movie would be very interesting to you. But this is a documentary and also the, fiction. It's both. It's a combination, And the point is, your consciousness, like a positive or negative and emotion, will affect the water. And and as you said, that we are 70% of water, and so your emotion will affect your own, energetic body. So it's very important, if you have a positive attitude or negative attitude, then you will have a different energy, And so, yeah.
So you've studied water around the world. Have you seen various places where the water level consciousness has been higher than others? And are there some countries that their water consciousness is dangerously low?
That's a good question. The people, for example, just the example that now I can think of is because Dr. Emoto checked many different tap waters in different cities in the world, and usually tap water is using chlorine to kill the bacteria. That's of course a good thing for us, to eliminate the contamination or pollution, and but the chlorine it has a vibration to kill the organisms, which is a kind of not harmonious with the nature.
Right. Yes.
And so usually when we examine the tap water with this water crystal technology, we couldn't observe any beautiful water crystals. But for example, Vienna, Wien in Austria, and we found partially, beautiful water crystals. And Dr. Emoto said that because the people in Wien, they love music.
Yes.
And so as a city, it has a very good vibration.
Yes.
And so those kind of vibration affected the tap water in their city.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is, yeah.
And so is there a city where the vibrations aren't so good?
And also there are other cities, and basically in the countryside, also there is those places are rich in nature, so we can observe better or nicer, water crystals. And from the as a natural source of water, we think that the most beautiful water crystal was found in some spring water in Japan. It's from a mountain, area.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, for example, let me just explain a little bit more.
Yes.
Which the name of the spring is called 3分の1 Yusui. 3分の1 means 1/3 in Japanese. And Yusui means spring water, and which is one of the most best 100 best water spring water in Japan. This 3分の1 Yusui water, and it showed the most beautiful water crystal so far from a natural resource of water. And Dr. Emoto's interpretation is like this. The name of 1/3, 3分の1. The reason why they named this spring like a 3分の1 is like several hundreds years ago, it was a shogun era in Japan. Okay, and at that time there was a conflict to get the water, conflict in the villages, downstream of the spring water. And it happened, in Japan also, because they want to get more water for their rice field.
Right.
And there were 3 villages downstream of this water source. And so there were always conflict between those villages. So it was not peaceful. But at that time, the person who governed that area got an idea, and he made some special system to divide the water source exactly into 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
Yes.
He made this kind of system.
Right.
And so that after this making this system, there were no conflict between the 3 villages. So this is the origin of the name 3分の1, which means 1/3. Then after that, it became very peaceful. There's no conflict between the villages. And because of this episode, even now, when we checked the water crystal of this spring water, we were able to find the most beautiful water crystal so far. So this is the consciousness of the people.
Right, exactly. And I think it's we know, you talked about Vienna and music. We know that music is very elevating of our consciousness. It's a very equilibralizing of our presence, and it uplifts people. And of course, when you're around people and you uplift them, that consciousness raises everything around them. You can measure not just the water, but you could measure everything around them, and you will see it, at a higher level of frequency. But why do we allow waters elsewhere? I don't know if you've tested city waters, if they're different. Because obviously when you're looking at countryside or looking at mountains, there is the burden of living is just daily survival and planting. They don't go around with so much that we put on our plate, as city dwellers or people running companies and people with busy lives. Does the water change more in urban rather than suburban areas?
Yeah, I think so. But it's basically it's the people living there will affect the water in general. People and nature, natural environment.
Yes,
I think it's a combination of these two factors.
So if people are living in an urban area, in a city area, where there is a lot more kind of friction that goes along, and then most of the time it's just people stress, trying to get through the day with everything they put on their plate. Is there something we can do to help change the water, to bring it up to a different vibrational level? Is there something we can consciously do?
Yeah, that's a good question. And because Dr. Emoto and I started the project of Love and Thanks to Water, as you explained in year 2002, I believe. And the point is, because we learned a lot from water through the message from water, the book Message from Water. So we wanted to give back to water.
Yes.
Something. So when we were thinking this way, maybe it's a good idea to give love and gratitude to the water, back to the water. So we started this project, and in this project, we asked people to send their love and gratitude to the water. It's a kind of prayer.
Right. Yes.
That's your consciousness.
Yes.
And then water will change. And because we checked using this water crystal technology, and after you sent your love and gratitude, the water showed better or more beautiful water crystals. And so even you are living in urban area, we can send our love and gratitude to the water, or even tap water or water circulating system. Then it will change. But I believe that also we have to educate, or we have to tell the people about this kind of concept, so that they can do naturally to send their love and gratitude to the water. Yeah.
I interviewed a couple of years ago a young girl at the age of 9 who had written a book called 365 Days of Gratitude with a Positive Attitude. And it was just, daily things about what she was grateful for. And, I didn't know what to expect in interviewing her. And I was really kind of blown away at her simple articulation. And it was like, well, if something makes you unhappy, why continue it? Go do something that makes you more joyful. And I think, children simplify it, but why do we overcomplicate things as an adult? And that, a lot of the discord that we look at in life is brought about by us, right? Because of our discontent. We spend so much time being miserable over something instead of actually changing it, right? Now, if the quality of the water is not good, yes, you can address it at the source, maybe better purification or this or that. But the simple thing, and this has, of course, got nothing to do with religion, simply having gratitude for what you have. Right? And I think it changes the way we receive things as well. It doesn't just change the water or change the food. I think it changes our whole system and how we integrate it into ourselves as well.
Yeah, I agree what you said, just what you said. And, water crystal technology is just, it's a technique, tools to visualize
Mm-hmm.
what you said. You know, I believe that if you say like gratitude, every day,
Yeah.
then you will have an experience to say gratitude. You know,
Yeah.
if you emit or if you send your love or gratitude to the cosmos and to the world, then you will have an experience that you want to say gratitude
Yes.
more and more, every day. So this is a kind of law of the nature or universe, and so it's a concept. But water crystal technology, if you see the water crystal with love and gratitude, then you can understand visually, oh,
Yes.
this is what happened. So maybe this is a very good point of Dr. Emoto's, water crystal technology.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people think, oh, but the science, and the PhD and the alkaline and the this and that. And yes, all of that is important because it's very important you have the proper balances.
Yeah.
If you're over on the PhD or over on the alkaline, it can cause some problems. But,
Mm.
that is up to the scientists, right? We hand
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
over to the scientists to manage the water. But,
Mm.
this attitude of like, well, I'm not a scientist, what do I know? There's nothing I can do. Well, we
Mm.
as human beings can do so much, and a great
Mm.
deal of it is changing our attitude towards water, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And also the maybe just I want to add something, about the new science of water. And as you said, the water is very important. If you send good vibration to the
Yeah.
water will show us very beautiful structure. But this function of water has been operating in our lifetimes since the
Beginning of time.
beginning of the life,
Yes.
during the evolution. And
Yes.
I believe this kind of water, the reaction or function of water to receive information and to transmit information is the most fundamental property of life itself. So
Mm-hmm.
water is basically, it's a fundamental, the most basic thing for our life. And during the evolution, maybe the proteins, or cell structure or DNA or genetic material, just they, appeared. But
Mm-hmm.
originally, the most important property is water and maybe light energy,
Yeah.
energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's like breath itself. I mean, we don't succeed, we do not exist without breath, but we do
Yeah.
not exist without water.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
only within us, but around us. We need it to sustain us, and we are the water within us, and we cannot live without breath. We cannot live without water. So,
Yeah.
I think awareness,
Mm.
of what sustains us, and then in
Mm.
gratitude of being aware of that,
Mm.
changes the structure of everything in our lives. Because I
Yeah.
think if we step more into gratitude, we would, not only be more grateful for things, but probably have a better understanding of the importance of it, because we rather take things for granted, don't we?
Right. And as you said, no, the water. Some people might think that water is one of the four elements, like
Mm-hmm.
fire, water,
Yes.
earth, and wind, or like that, or four or five elements. Uh, Before I was thinking this way, but recently I think the water for this planet or for our
Mm-hmm.
life on this planet Earth, the water might be the most important,
Yeah.
component for us. And as you said, the water is everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
even in the air,
Yeah.
between you and
The moisture.
me,
Yes.
just
Right.
now, through the water molecule in the air,
Yes.
we are connected,
Yes.
everything
Yes.
on this planet. And so my information is transmitted to you just now through
Mm-hmm.
the water molecules in the
Yes.
air, I believe.
Yes.
And so I believe the water as a whole on this planet may correspond to the collective consciousness of humanity itself.
Mm.
You know.
Yes. Water, like air, is something we all have in common. I don't care who you are or where you come from or what your political or status is in life.
Oh,
Water is something every single one of us needs. The common
yeah,
denominator.
yeah.
and in our approach to water. Now, what we are looking at and hearing a great deal today is the fact that we're running out of water. Our ice packs are melting, and there is many countries that are in drought because of no water. But I've also interviewed people who have wonderful innovations that can create moisture in the air.
Yes.
And of course, there's looking at the sea and being able to extract the salt from it, etc. Are you seeing any wonderful innovations around water that can provide that sustainability that humans need?
Because as a scientist in water research, I respect Dr. Gerald Pollack. He's a professor at the University of Washington, and he's a chairman for the International Water Conference. And so he's literally one of the top water scientists. And we have some connection with him. And he's a very nice person, and he respects Dr. Emoto very much. And it's a kind of scientific, detail or technology.
Yes.
But what he found is water can absorb the solar energy, sunshine energy, and water can be like a battery, rechargeable battery with light energy. And then after the water is charged with the solar energy, then we can get electric energy from this charged water. This is experimentally proved already, proven by Dr. Pollack. And so it may be possible that we can make some structure or light energy harvesting system using only water on like a desert, like just water and solar energy. Then we can get electricity very simple way and very natural way. And also the sustainability, like it's a little complicated, but using his Dr. Pollack's concept, we can purify the contaminated water into pure water. And for example, it's possible that we can make pure water from seawater.
Yes. Yes,
No,
I have heard that.
Yeah, to eliminate like minerals, like chlorine or sodium chloride, and in a very simple way. And so this kind of thing I can think, yeah. And but water is running out, and also another point is because we are having many water disasters related with water, and we believe that water and our collective consciousness are related, very intimately. And so the reason why we experience such disasters, including even earthquakes, this is because our emotional body as a humanity is not clean enough. So we have to purify ourselves. It's about consciousness.
Oh, amen to that. I mean, I feel like I'm preaching all the time. Is that, we as human beings are extraordinary, incredible creators, but we're also the scourge of the planet. And we come down to that word choice again. What are we going to feed? And if we choose to feed, the possibilities that serves humanity, all humanity. If we step into the consciousness of being aware and caring about each other, we will actually see the entire frequency of this planet on every level expansionally grow. And that's not just the water, but the earthquake stopping, but things themselves growing more fruitfully. We will be content with less, because I think a lot of our gluttony and our need for overconsumption comes from dissatisfaction from within. So we need to first address our inner selves and our own discontent. Why are we angry? Why are we bitter? Why are we fearful? Why do we blame everybody else? Why are we not taking responsibility? Why are we not stepping into what we can do to make a difference? Why are we not feeding, the love, the care, the respect of one another? And I think it's as simple as stepping into that vibration to raise the chi, to raise the frequency, and to structurally help this planet heal. because we're causing the problems right now. Never mind causing the problems with fracking, with the oil pipes, with drilling and all of that. We're causing the problems just simply with our vibration, our negative vibration.
Yeah. And our collective consciousness is made of the personal consciousness of our, each person.
Every drop in the ocean counts.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right. And as you said, the Dr. Emoto's water crystal technology is he wanted to show the general people that your consciousness is affecting the water.
Yes.
This is our whole point. And right now, I'm thinking, very recently, some scientists are making a device which can show you that if you send love energy to the water, liquid water, and then this system will show you the change of the physical, chemical properties of the water in real time. And if you send the bad energy into the water, then this device will show the different property. The water has changed. And one of the my purpose, I don't know, my goal or my vision is if we could make a small device which can operate on a stage or on a table, and then in front of this device, maybe this device has just 1 meter or one, I don't know, needle to show the level of like love energy from 0 to 100. Real time.
We talked about this before the show, that I wanted to do a show with Robert Williams and yourself. Because Robert Williams actually has created a device that goes on your phone that if anybody in the proximity of that raises their conscience, raises their heart consciousness, and water that changes our DNA back to a set point and raises our consciousness again by the way that it feeds us. So I'm so looking forward to have the two of you on together, because you're talking the same language, because I think you will be really blown away with what they've done. He himself is not a scientist, but spent 17 years going around studying various waters around the world and why they were different. So I think there's a synergy right there. That's another show, folks. It's going to be in December. But that's the thing, isn't it? It's that, I think it's like when we're around music, or when we're around children, or when we're around animals that are in joy, it elevates us. We step into heart center. And when we step into heart, we step into joy, and that elevates everything about us. So if we need devices to help us get into that, then I'm all for it. Anything that's going to shift your vibration to a more harmonious set of being.
Yeah, I believe so. That some people knows this kind of thing intuitively. There's no problem. Oh, that's of course. But many other people don't know, this kind of power they have. So if I can demonstrate using this kind of device on a stage or during my presentation, and if some person send her love or his love into the device, and the device showed, now it's 100% love energy. And if he changed his attitude, like he got angry, intentionally, then it showed like a 0 love energy. This means that your energy, or positive or negative, will affect the things around this person immediately. So it's a feedback.
I would love to see this in families.
I
would love to see this in political parties.
You can put this kind of monitor everywhere.
But also in media, because media sells fear.
That's right.
Right? It is, I always say they take a pimple and make it into a volcanic eruption. Everything blown out of proportion. So if there was actually on the TV thing a meter that showed the news that they were delivering and how negative it was and how positive it was, right? I think it would change the way the media is done.
Because right now, maybe the general people likes, like bad things more than good things, like psychologically, or because of the influence from media. But if they know that your good energy will affect everything in a good way, once they experience this, then they would change. they would start to love the positive things.
Well,
Because
it's the energy begets energy. So if you're
yeah,
negative, you're going to
yeah,
attract negative.
yeah, yeah.
If you're happy, you're going to attract happy. It's like when
Mm,
people want to look for a love partner.
mm,
Well, first and foremost, find the love within yourself.
mm,
Find the love for yourself.
mm,
Then you will find somebody who can match you in that love
mm.
frequency,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right,
And so
right,
if
yeah,
we want to be happier, we need to be
mm,
around happier people.
yeah, yeah. You will attract the happier
Yes.
people, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that's, life is an inside job. I think there's a big word I keep using in my shows too, which is called responsibility.
Oh,
And,
mm,
as human beings, we've got very much to the pointing the finger, their fault, their fault, their fault,
mm, mm,
government's fault, parents' fault, or, the ex did me wrong, or the boss did me wrong. Well,
mm,
stuff is going to happen to you in your life, but
mm,
how you react to it,
mm,
what you learn from it, and
mm,
what path you choose to walk
mm.
because
Yeah,
of that is your choice.
yeah,
Your reaction is your choice. And if you want to raise your frequency, raise that beautiful crystallization in yourself,
right.
you've got to be really responsible for your choices.
Yeah, that's right. I remembered something interesting thing because when you point somebody like this with your index finger,
Yes.
the other three fingers are pointing toward you.
Yeah, exactly. Right, folks.
Yeah,
Right back at you.
yeah,
Yes. But it's also like, pointing a finger is like the gun, I'm shooting you. And
mm,
it's, again, a negative connotation.
mm,
And, politicians, I mean, we have here John Bunzel, who's come up with a
mm,
wonderful simple policy,
mm,
which is
mm,
a simultaneous policy for all governments, all politicians, all countries to
mm,
adapt to, which puts them on an even playing field of what to address. So in
mm,
other words, it's bipartisan, it's cross country, it's a language and an
mm,
approach to addressing the problem that every
mm,
country needs to have in order to
mm,
get things done around climate
mm,
change. And I think if we could step out of, you and me and start
mm.
talking about we and
Yeah,
us,
yeah, right. Yeah.
we would see so many more options because we are incredibly creative in
Mm,
finding solutions,
mm.
right? If we
Yeah,
stop feeding the problem.
yeah, that's right. And when I was with Dr. Emoto in different countries, I found that the topics or talk about water, they understand in any religion, in any area, it doesn't matter. Water is so universal, And also when we started the project of Love and Thanks to Water, it was, I think, like 2004. In Liechtenstein, we had a water ceremony there. And at that time, we asked the people all over the world to send us the local water to Liechtenstein. So we held our ceremony in Liechtenstein, and many people, like more than 200, I believe, they sent us their own local water to Liechtenstein, and it was a small village, and so the officials at the post office were very surprised. Why so many waters from all over the world? But anyway, we could collect many different waters, and about 100 people came to our ceremony there, and we asked each person to pour each container of water into a kind of big container.
Yeah.
So every person got one water from somewhere in the world, and they poured the water into one big container. And I was, as a MC, I was just looking at this scene, and I was very moved just by watching this scene because the water is from all over the world, but it was poured into one big container, and the waters were mixed without any trace into one body of water. This, of course, it's common sense. Of course, we understand. But when I was looking for this, the water everywhere, there's no problem to mix each other. So this is a kind of symbolic for our true nature as a humanity.
You know, we
So,
see us come together when there's a crisis. You know,
uh-huh.
when something's happened, you know, a natural crisis or another
Yeah.
crisis, we come together.
Mm,
Why can we not come together on a daily
mm,
basis? Why do we always have to wait for a crisis?
mm,
You know, if we could step into our humanity, if we could step into
mm,
our caringness,
mm.
stop looking at segregation and differences,
Yeah.
but, you know, start looking at ourselves, you know, from the inside out. You know,
Yeah.
this body we're in is purely a vehicle that we're driving.
All right.
Right? You
Yeah.
know, you're
Yeah.
Japanese, I'm British. You know, that's just the container we came in.
Yeah.
But the inside, we all seek the same things in life. You know, we wish to
Right. That.
love and
Yeah.
be loved. We wish to know that we're contributing and that we count in the world. You know, we want to live a life that has a meaningful purpose to it.
Yeah.
You know, we want security. We want good health. Fundamentally, we're all looking for the same things.
Yeah, that's very important concept. And when you are in an airplane and you look down the Earth, there is no border at all.
Right.
It's only the artificial map. You know,
Yes.
there is some border like that,
Yeah.
but there is no borders in the nature. And I think this is the truth of our, you know, humanity.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
on this Let's Get Sync series, we've had some wonderful people on, each one of them bringing, you know, their contribution to it. And, you know, it's the fundamental thing that we're talking about here is the consciousness.
Mm.
You know, with Pure Necessity, with Robert Gierek, it is about people, planet, profit. And this is something that we're having to look at. I mean, you know, we're looking at a certain company wanting to buy the rights for water that each country should have as their own right. If it's in your country, it should be your water, right? Not another company buying it and selling it back to you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? So somewhere along the line, we actually have to draw the line at profit at the expense of people and planet, right? And this only is going to happen if we consciously step up and say, no more, these practices are going to stop. And that, you know, we are going to invest in people. We're going to invest in all life forms here on the planet. We're going to respect this planet and what she needs and stop hurting her, because that's what we're doing. And to realize that this planet gives us absolutely everything we ever needed. We don't need any more than what she gives us.
Yeah,
and so,
correct.
Again, stepping into that consciousness, but stepping into the gratitude of what we have. All right. And in that gratitude, understanding we are residents here on this planet. We don't own it. And so
that's right. Yeah.
You know, we're paying rent, so to speak. And so we need to leave this planet, you know, as we found it, which actually maybe that's not such a good statement anymore. We need to leave it better than we found it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with what you said. And yeah, actually, I'm sometimes I'm thinking about the, you know, primordial state of the planet. Like in a very ancient times, the nature should be more, of course, more beautiful without any pollutions. And I believe we have to return the Earth to the original, you know, conditions. This is our responsibility. Maybe one generation is not enough, but anyway, we have to, you know, make this, you know, the planet into the original, you know,
are you noticing amongst
state.
You know, the young conscious people, you know, the millennials and those that come after them, that they are being more conscious about this? You know, I have 3 millennial children. My son's birthday today, actually.
Happy birthday.
Yes, but each one of them has chosen a path where they give back, or where they sustain the planet, or where they are very conscious about what they have and what their contribution and what they take from the planet. And, you know, this is part of the way they were brought up, but an also great deal of it is the consciousness, I think, of the collective with a lot of the millennials. So I think they've looked at what we've done and go, no, there's going to be no planet left if we continue on this. And that we have to make the change. So are you noticing amongst our younger generations a different approach to water?
Or different approach to water? I don't know. Just I heard about one young person who tried to clean the pollution in the ocean.
Yes.
to make some big device to get
Right.
all
The
the
plastic. Yeah.
plastics like
Yeah.
that. And so, yeah, I believe this kind of the idea, or we have to realize, in any way. So,
Yeah.
it's also the of course, basically, I think that our consciousness is the most important
Yeah.
factor. But also, at the same time, you have to do some action, I think. Yeah. Or it's maybe if we change, we could succeed in changing our collective consciousness. Then I believe that naturally, the many people start to do something, for
And the
the.
thing is that, a lot of people say, why is this under eco solutions,
Mhm.
and, they say the reason why it is that we cannot address the change
Mm.
of climate until we change the climate within us.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So
Yeah.
the conscious climate has to change for our
Yeah,
actions
right.
to change.
Yeah, that's right. The climate in the atmosphere, outside, climate outside is a reflection of, as you
Yes.
said, it's an inside, our own climate. That's a
Yes.
good expression, I think.
So, the thing is that we've got to stop waiting for someone else to do it, and we've got to look to ourselves.
Yeah.
And, it's not just the practices of what you do. I mean, we know that meat manufacturing, because it's not meat farming anymore, it's meat manufacturing,
Mm-hmm.
consumes so much water, more
Yeah.
water than we do
Yeah.
as humans as a daily basis, so much grain that could feed an entire country.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's, I think it's the carbon dioxide, but I'm not quite sure which chemical that's setting off, but that is hurting the atmosphere.
Mm.
And so, we have to look at that and go, okay, do I consciously stop eating meat, or do I only buy it if it's from organic, ethically farmed
Mm-hmm.
animals?
Mm.
The thing is, as consumers,
Mm.
we will dictate
Mm.
where things go,
Mm.
right? So if we stop buying the things that are wrong,
Mm.
and we start purchasing a more conscious way of consuming, we're going to change those industries.
Mm. As a consumer.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
So if we want to save water, because when we're talking about global warming, we're talking about the ice packs are melting, the seawater is rising, we have droughts in various countries, water shortage is going to soon be upon us. But there are things we can do. We don't just sit back and wait for the disaster. We become more conscious of how much water we consume in a day, how much time we spend in the shower, in washing the dishes or anything else. We become more conscious of, obviously, waste instead of it ending up in the sea, of the way we consume our food. This is the thing, is a lot of people say, but what can I do? I'm only one person. Well, change your consciousness.
Yes.
Become more aware on how you shop, your usage of water, but most importantly, your vibration around yourself and those around you, because that changes the water within you.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so you can change yourself, of course, first. Then your vibration, of course, you are emitting your vibration to all over the world immediately. So it's maybe we start within ourselves, of course, but then the effect will go all over the world, like ripples on the pond,
Yes, exactly. The ripple effect is incredibly powerful. And, it both ways. If you're negative and miserable, that is rippling out to people. So if you choose to be, more joyful, and of course it's unreasonable to say, oh, you've got to be joyful all the time, because we can't be. We have down times. But then what do you do in those down times that's going to nurture you back into a more equilibrium where your vibration can rise again? It's not just give in to it, is it? So we again have to take that responsibility to what will sustain our joy, what will sustain our good vibration, and be aware of it and know how to nurture ourselves.
Yeah. So the gratitude is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and also because the experience, life experience is very precious for us. Even it's looks very bad or it looks very sad, but the experience is a very precious thing for us, I believe.
Yeah, here on selfdiscoveryradiotv.com, I've interviewed people who have gone through some of the most horrific things in life. I mean, and you look at and go, how did they survive? But they not only survived, by going through the process, they have come out the other side so much more whole, so much more complete. They've stepped into a meaningful purpose. They've stepped into that love and gratitude of self, of life, and they've stepped into a better understanding.
Yeah.
So life is about the suffering, but you don't have to stay in suffering. You're willing to take the journey through it, through the transition. It's the redirect, and step into your calling, your purpose, because we all have one, and do it with passion and with love. You will actually understand why you had a negative in the first place, because we always get to a positive by coming from a negative, don't we?
Yeah, that I agree, because recently I was thinking at that point, and because even when I think about my own life, I had many, not many, I don't know, but any bad experiences, and so I had a worse time. But if I had only good time in my life, then I would not be aware of this kind of concept. Like our consciousness will affect water like that. Because if we are kind of happy all the time, then we don't think much about the world or cosmos or our consciousness. No. But when we have a very bad time, then we go deep into ourselves. Then I believe we sooner or later we can get back to the surface, even it's very deep, but we can come back. And then after that, we become a lot more aware of the things around us.
Yes.
So life is very contradictory. It's like what you say, like it's a contradiction. Or I don't know. I forgot the English name. But anyway, it's full of not straightforward. But
I mean, in science, you have to have a negative and a positive, right? So there will always be some negatives. Even if you have found positivity in your life, that doesn't mean something negative is not going to happen to you. But it does mean that you are more equipped to deal with it. You're not going to go down the rabbit hole. You know how to deal with it so that you can get back to a more positive. And there's always something positive, even out of the darkest disaster. There's always something that could be found out of it. And but I actually have found that with a lot of scientists today, when you talk about consciousness, it's still considered a woo-woo type thing. But a lot of scientists now are actually understanding that those that choose to live on a higher elevation of consciousness, that they can actually measure that consciousness. And they actually understand at that higher frequency and vibration how it resonates out, how the signal goes out. And so they're beginning to actually understand this from a scientific point of view of the benefits of raising our consciousness.
Yeah. There are several methods to measure the vibration of our collective consciousness like that. And I know some scientists also. And maybe one of them is the people at the HeartMath Institute in the USA. Maybe you heard about that.
Sorry, what is it?
HeartMath.
HeartMath?
HeartMath.
HeartMath.
Math is mathematics, math.
HeartMath. Okay, yes.
Yeah. And they are measuring the heart rate variability. It's a kind of technical, but they are measuring the heartbeat.
Yes.
And then if your heartbeat is not constant, I mean, if it's changing like this way, then you are relaxed. And if it's very constant, it means you are stressed. It's a kind of common sense in medicine. And this, so if you do meditation, if you calm down your, energetic body or your physical body, then your state of consciousness will be reflected in the measurement of this, heart rate variability. Or other scientist is Roger Nelson. I know he's a leader of the Global Consciousness Project. He's from Princeton University, and it's called the Global Consciousness Project, GCP in short. And he's using a random number generator. It's a very kind of device, small device, which will give you the random numbers all the time.
Yes.
But if you send your consciousness, or if the collective consciousness of humanity change, somehow this random number generator will give you a kind of not random numbers somehow. We don't know the mechanisms, but this device is just electronic device. So it's supposed to give you the random numbers. It's digital, so 0, 1, 1, 0, like that, random numbers all the time. And we can check statistically that if this number is really random or not random. And on this planet, like more than about 100 places, they are monitoring this output from their random number generator. And when we have very tragic, I don't know, the princess of the Diana, passed away many years ago. At that time, many people on this planet were very sad about this news. At that time, the output from many random number generators changed very much. We don't know why. This is just a physical device. So it shouldn't change anything at all. But somehow our collective consciousness changed this kind of physical device. So this is another way to measure the state of our collective consciousness, like that.
We need to see more of that. People need to see this is fact. This is science. This is a real bona fide, approach to life, and that people who have found an outlet, through meditation. For some people, it might be jogging, it might be yoga, it might be meditation, but it's find something that brings you back to your center. I had Michel Pascal on, who's a big a monk who teaches meditation. He takes people into Times Square to teach them how to meditate. He says, how to become the mountain amongst the chaos. So it's all very well meditating when it's peaceful and quiet. How do you find the peace and calm within you amongst the tornado?
Wonderful.
Right?
I see.
I mean, we all get a tornado around us nowadays. So, and that is something that we have to be conscious and choose to find within us, right? Because we need to do it not only for our own health, our own sustainability, but for those that are around us, because how we are is how we're going to affect the people right around us.
Yeah, that point is actually, I believe that that point is what we are learning just now, or maybe it's a purpose for us to be here just now to learn or to become aware of this kind of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
The willingness to be aware, the willingness to actually even look at our consciousness, to the willingness to raise it up, the willingness to let anger go. Everybody's had somebody who's had someone that's hurt them. You don't stay in the pain. You learn from it and you move on. You learn the lessons from it, but never with bitterness, never with hate. Because that serves no one. You just stay in that stew of your negative vibration, and it can get very hard to get out of it because you become very comfortable in it. It's there's no responsibility in being angry and hateful. You're not taking any accountability. The accountability is when you choose to step into your consciousness and say, I may be angry, but I'm not going to hate. I may disagree with what you say, but I'm not going to hate you for it. So, if we can get rid of that hate word, learn to listen, why does that person feel that way? We may have a better understanding and open our consciousness a lot more. So.
Yeah, that's really the key point for us right now.
Yes.
Yeah, you said very well. Yeah, I think so.
It's great to come across someone like you that is, scientific and a conscious raiser, because, for us to actually understand the science, we need to understand, our ignition our
Mm.
igniting of our consciousness, because
Mm.
at the present moment, that is the science, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah.
The elevation of our consciousness, our practices, our
Mm.
thoughts, our actions, our words, our
Mm.
deeds is
Mm.
what we need in order to save this planet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So very important with the work you're doing. And having said that, how do people find you? And is there any upcoming talk or anything else that you're going to be doing that's going to come up in the next while? You're airing in November, so have you got anything coming up in December or next year?
Just now I have some presentation in Japan. In foreign countries, I don't have any fixed plan just now. But if somebody who is listening to this interview, if they want to host or organize some seminar or workshop or in their own countries, I'm very happy to cooperate with them.
And how do they find you?
My email address or maybe my email address is, my name is Yasuyuki Nemoto. It's in Japanese name.
You're gonna have to spell that out
Maybe.
for my audience, please.
Yeah, on your website, or shall I tell the spelling?
Yes, please.
Just now?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
just I try.
For the people who are listening.
Yasuyuki Nemoto. Yasuyuki is my first name. Nemoto is my family name. And I'll tell you the spelling. Yasuyuki, Yasuyuki. And you put dot. And Nemoto, family name, Nemoto. Nemoto, it sounds like Emoto, my boss, Emoto.
Yes.
Emoto, and you just put N at the, as a first letter, then Nemoto. And so this is, and then after that, at, and hado.com, hado, hado.com, com. I will repeat, Yasuyuki.Nemoto @hado.com. Yeah.
And
So,
of course, you're on Facebook as well, which is Yenemoto1, which is YNEMOTO1 on Facebook. And so people can get hold of you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, Nemoto1. This is my Facebook account.
Great. And so people can find what's going on there, and etc. And I do want you back with Robert Williams. I think that's going to be a
thank
great
you.
show.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And I think this is what people need to understand. Yes, we need physical action in the world. We need innovation. We need creative ways of sustaining our water. We are seeing so many people, take plastic, make roads out of it, make houses out of it, recycle it, but we've got to stop being wasteful to start off with. The consciousness is that we've got to stop treating this planet as a big garbage pit. Right? So that is in the consumerism, that is in our waste, that is our consciousness of how our footprint on this planet. And if we want to be not the problem anymore, if we want to be the solution, we need to consciously step into our own consciousness of what our contribution is. And be very mindful of it. That's the only way we're going to change things. We want the water to be crystal, folks. We don't want that angry water. We want it to be crystal. I really love the idea of the device. I'd love to see it on the news. I'd love to see it in the media. Yeah. I think that would be brilliant to show people how much negativity they're getting a day. Right?
Right. Yeah. And I would like to thank you. And your program is contributing to raise the consciousness of humanity, I'm sure.
We are utterly awesome creatures when we step into it. And, this is the invitation right now. It's an inspiration for invitation that we are such ordinary people doing exemplary things, extraordinary things. And to understand that it's not what everybody else is doing. It's what are we doing as an individual. And by stepping into our consciousness is that first step. So thank you for coming and sharing it with us here.
Thank you.
Let's Get Synced series.
Sara, yeah.
And, please, folks, follow us. It's on selfdiscoveryradiotv.com under Eco Solutions, the Let's Get Synced series. And you'll see everybody that's been on here, and it's wonderful people. just like yourself being on here, that are contributors to what they're bringing to raising our consciousness, what they're doing with businesses, with politicians, with their countries. And it's really wonderful to see. We are the solution. Let's step into that, because it's so much more productive and so much more friendly. It's also so much more pleasing, isn't it, to ourselves to know that we're a part of that. So thank you so much for being with us here today.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Until next time, folks. Bye for now.
Yeah, bye-bye, folks.
For more wonderful shows like this, please go to selfdiscoveryradio.com, podcasts, and see our lineup. And if you wish to support us, we have a funded button. Please stay tuned for our next show.